Welcome to the Satire channel. Today's topic, fake Russia conspiracy redux. Okay, let's get serious. So, I will also be doing a video in the future coming up, and this is a sad topic, on Venezuelan sanctions that are being conducted by the United States. I will go in depth about that. That'll be a very somber topic. Okay, so let's get to the issue for today. The explanation here, and I say this with all seriousness, and in other videos I've given great credit to alternative media about a number of topics. But on this particular topic with the fake Russia conspiracy, even those that have elements of the conspiracy right, they seem to miss the organic picture. Here, on this channel, with 4 or 5 subscribers, or how many I have, I love those people. But, I obviously don't really have very many subscribers. The few people that watch this channel are getting a better explanation here than anywhere else in the entire country on any media platform that you can think of, or that I have read, and I've read through quite a few. So maybe there's a few that I've missed that are kind of like me, an isolated voice. I really hope they're out there. But as far as I'm aware, this is the best you're going to get. Left, right, anywhere. Okay, so I will not, for example, psychologize Trump. Or I will not psychologize the Trump-hating propaganda by those who have media platforms, those who are participating in this anti-Trump, or those that just simply do not like Trump. There seems to be a lot of exaggeration out there, a lot of absolute characterizations, a lot of infantilization of Trump and his supporters, though certainly there's elements of that support that certainly deserve quite a bit of criticism, if not condemnation. So, this characterizing people in one-dimensional motive type, orientations, or as having some foible of obsession with Trump, as is popular, unfortunately, among the alternative left dissent media, or even to dramatize what his presidency means, or to make false attributions or blunt characterizations of Trump as a fascist, when indeed the corporations and banking interests of nearly the entire society and in the international economic system as we know it, as we experience it, these interests that dominate our society share much in common with fascism. So why focus our ire on Donald Trump? It seems in a way perverse to me, and it seems to help the powers that be, in my opinion. I think they like the diversion, personally. Well, to an extent. I will get into that in this video. So, I leave that aside. A basic, fundamental question lost on nearly everyone. Who believes the fake Russia conspiracy among our class of politicians? I know, such a simple question. Why even ask it? I think simple questions are important to ask, which is why it's good that you're right here and you stay with me through this whole video. I know it's tough in today's society. We have these short attention spans. Everything's going to be 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Get out there. Blah, 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 blah. Give me your time. It's going to be worth it. So who believes in the political class? What political parties believe the fake Russia conspiracy? Unbelievably, this question goes unanswered everywhere. Nobody thinks it's important. I happen to think it's important. So basic, so ignored. Who believes? Well, virtually the entire Democratic Party. When I say party, I mean people with public personalities on our media markets or with direct access to levers of political power. I am not talking about the common citizens. That is a different discussion for a different day. So Democrats believe it. And not just Democrats, but also the entire Republican Party with its total dedication to socially coercive norms, to fear-mongering, and, of course, the American exceptionalism that just beats through the entire culture. And of course, this disposition that Republicans possess is absent of any coherent notion of human reality beyond purely cynical views of their neighbors and loved ones, let alone strangers. The Republicans believe the fake Russia conspiracy, and of course, all independents believe the Russia conspiracy in the political class as well, including the bovinely stupid yet venerated among some of us, Bernie Sanders, who can't stop himself from indulging in moronic views whenever a situation calls for thinking outside the box. Bernie, forgive us if we ask you to actually think critically on an issue that just isn't obvious. You know, the healthcare situation seems obvious, but even there, Bernie's not open to different ideas. He's not open to differences of views on how to provide single-payer healthcare. He is constantly telling you, Medicare for all, Medicare for all, Medicare for all, Medicare for all. Like, constantly, without a discussion amongst the grassroots about what different systems might be good for the public, and that this might actually raise consciousness for a single-payer system. He thinks the public is too stupid. He has to brand the advocacy and just keep pushing the brand without a deep discussion. I happen to think that's damaging, and I happen that's part of the moronic disposition of Bernie Sanders. So when Bernie has to stray from his stump speech material, God forbid, allow me to quote the venerated Saint Bernie. Quote, "It is clear that Donald Trump wanted nothing more than to shut down the Mueller investigation." End quote. Yeah, Bernie, the fake investigation being used to terrorize the public. Wow, so you're concerned that Trump is shutting down a fake investigation, or that he would even desire to do so? I mean, that is just an unbelievably ignorant advocacy to possess, and he repeats it. This quote is from a month ago. I didn't pull this from 2 years ago. He's still doing it. Now, he can't stop. Okay, Bernie, so can you please remove yourself from your own arrogance, your own mule-headed stupidity, and please look reality in the face. Allow me to quote this idiot, Bernie Sanders, further. Quote, "While we have more detail from today's report," he's referring to the Mueller report. I'll continue the quotation. "While we have more detail from today's report than before, Congress must continue its investigation into Trump's conduct and any foreign attempts to influence our election." So Bernie Sanders believes in a fake investigation just so he can dive into a political opponent to find any kind of dirt that he wants for his own political gain. This is a guy of impeccable integrity? Spare me, people. I am tired of the venerated sainthood, the canonization of a man that has proven time and again that when you are pushed to that point where you are tested the most, he fails continuously. Continuously. And I'll get into that a little bit on my sanctions talk with Venezuela. Okay, so Bernie Sanders, as I have quoted him, spoken like a true useful idiot for the interests within our intelligence agencies. Let me quote further. Let's quote Bernie further. Quote, we must also work to do everything we can to protect our future elections." This is from a man that faced a rigging in his primary in 2016, pretending that he's concerned about the integrity of elections. He watches a party establishment do everything that they can to make the field as favorable for Hillary. It wasn't totally rigged. Hillary Clinton had voters, and Bernie had voters, okay? It wasn't totally rigged, but they made it as favorable of a situation as they could for Hillary Clinton, and as disadvantageous as they could for Bernie Sanders. So it's like, it's sort of sabotaging a little bit, but we'll never know what the full effects were. So it's ironic. But let me requote here. We must also work to do everything we can to protect our future elections from the significant threat of foreign interference. And I call on President Trump and Republican leadership to stop obstructing the necessary work to protect our democracy. My God, to see Bernie Sanders participating in a neo-McCarthyite conspiracy, to be stoking it, is so unbelievable, is so atrociously stupid and bovine that I can't even wrap my mind around how dumb this man is. Like, I literally can't, because I want him to do well. I want Bernie to do well, because in some cases, he's totally representing common people, or he's trying to, with his own voice. To see him helping terrorize the public, to me is just unbelievable. Okay, let me move on here. So, Bernie Sanders obviously can't stop himself from lying to the public. A man with some wonderful advocacies. Just can't stop terrorizing the public, though, with a fake conspiracy. Can't stop participating in neo-McCarthyite hysteria. Instead of opening up a loving discourse in regards Russian society and other different societies globally, instead of doing that, Sanders chooses blunt, nationalistic paranoia and games to deceive the public for party gain, party hackery. Stop being a party hack, Bernie Sanders. And this is either wittingly or unwittingly. We can't determine. So he's either a man that is just outright lying, or he's a man that is so stupid he can't realize what's going on in society and the interests that are at play. Like, he just can't comprehend it. So he just has to participate in the lie. And that is by definition a useful idiot. Okay, so let's move on. Why would, for example, someone like our Attorney General, Bill Barr, dyed-in-the-wool Republican, or say even a victim of a Russia conspiracy like Donald Trump, why would these people believe in the fake Russia conspiracy? Yes, the victims of the Russia conspiracy believe the Russia conspiracy. Allow me to explain. Trump and Barr believe in a Russia conspiracy without Trump and his associates in it. This is a different brand of Russia conspiracy. Yes, we are getting very exotic here, I realize. From where did this Russia conspiracy baby spring? First, we must understand that there are multiple versions of the Russia conspiracy. Two main prevailing brands originating, in my view, from the intelligence agencies for domestic consumption. Think markets with the intelligence agencies, what they want out there. And also think that the dominant interests in our society are perfectly willing to go along with this because they benefit, because institutions are coming increasingly under question by the American public. They need a conspiracy like this. They're like, whoa, it's like an opportunity. Whoa, yeah, let's get on that conspiracy. Oh, the Russians. That's the Russians. This is a product of what they want you, the citizen, to consume. For the useful idiots in both parties, including Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. The useful idiots that they are to help the powers and the national security, the law enforcement, and intelligence/media establishments stoke terror among the population through propaganda for their own institutional legitimation. So the political class needs legitimation as well as the aforementioned institutions. They share in the desire to spread these vile lies amongst the public. You notice I'm not focusing on the Trump impeachment lunacy. That's that's another level to all this. All right, so what are the two brands of the fake Russia conspiracy? We're selling two brands like cereal today. Yeah, we're just gonna take a little look at the Russia conspiracy. Two brands. Brand number one, a Republican brand propagated since the Obama years, using what is called intelligence to stoke fear about Russia hacking our elections. Ever-present hacking, unending reports of future hacking, current hacking, and on and on. Both Republicans and Democrats participate in this fear-laden branding. The constant threat. We must maintain vigilance. The subtext here is, Americans, don't you know how good you have it? Russians know how good you have it and want to take it from you, Americans. Take it from us. Snuff it out like a poor little newborn baby left to die in a Namibian desert. Okay, Americans. I don't even know what the hell that means. Anyways, what do you mistrust? You mistrust us, Americans? You hate your institutions? Don't you know how good you have it? Look at me, Americans. Don't you trust me? Accept the social unity that we provide you, the social unity of hating the other, the Russians, the menacing red Russians. They're always there to hate for you. You've been hating them for so long. We, the establishment, broadly love you. Can't you see that? We do so many wonderful things for you. Why are you so ungrateful to your prevailing institutions? Totally sinister subtext, always stated in a superficial sense on the surface, as you know, like those robotic customer service agents you get these days. Sometimes I can't even tell if it's a robot or a human. Quote, I have a report that Russians hacked our voting machines. Quote, I hate, or they'll have a report of a Buff Bernie Facebook ad meant to delude 10 people in Wisconsin, as that's supposed to be news. Like these constant articles, they're all over the media. All over, like everywhere. I mean, you go online, they've got a constant stream of propaganda saying that Russia is going to hack our elections. Just recently, we've had the representatives in the state of Florida say, we have a report, the Russians have infiltrated our electoral systems. They've done it. They've done it before the election. We don't even know what they're up to. It's those Russians. Can you believe this? With all those great things that we have for you. There are all these great things that we have, and the Russians want to take them away. What are you going to do about that, old American? What are you going to do? You gonna let the Russians take it away? Gonna let the Russians use that lackey Jill Stein to have you love people? Do you think that is what we are here on this planet for? To love you? Jill Stein? She's a Russian puppet? Okay, back to it. Okay. These are absurd notions, of course, and I am dramatizing. Okay, so the second prevailing fake Russia brand, outside the one that I just provided to you. The second prevailing brand is a modified version of the original fake Russia conspiracy. So the original fake Russia conspiracy, which started during the Obama years, it's about Russians are hacking our machines. Oh, God, I should know. Russians hacking here, Russians hacking there, Russians hacking everywhere. So we went from that in during the Obama years to now under Donald Trump. Now we have the old fake Russia conspiracy for Russians hacking everywhere. We just don't know where they're coming from. To Trump is Putin's useful idiot all of a sudden. The deep irony to this version, which has been propagated aggressively by a political class of Democrats following the lead of the Hillary Clinton campaign for president since July of 2016, almost 3 years from now, almost 3 years now, running continually. A useful idiot, of course, being a derogatory term for a person performing work as a propagandist for a cause. You know, a neo-McCarthyite hysteria, the Russia hate, the Russia paranoia, the goals of this cause, for which he or she does not fully comprehend. So they just keep repeating the propaganda, mindlessly participating. All right. So we see that the people pushing this fake Russia conspiracy from the political class in both parties, mainly Democrats with the anti-Trump brand, which is the second brand. So the Democrats push this anti-Trump Russia conspiracy, are performing the roles mainly of useful idiots, at best. At best, we could classify them as useful idiots, or we could grant them elevated powers of thinking where they realize what they're doing, and well, that just makes them quite cynical and evil people at that point, but we will leave that aside. All right, so useful idiots for the powerful interests in our intelligence agencies and mass media corporations, if not as well for the powerful banking and corporate interests globally, who are sitting on the sidelines, giddy, sharing the interest in seeing this fake, divisive Russia conspiracy stoked ad nauseum on media platforms all over the corporate media and the alternative media everywhere. It's just captured people's attention. Okay. And of course, it goes on and on and on. So there you have your two different brands. I'm going to leave it at that for today. I got a video coming up on the Venezuelan sanctions. It's actually in detail with particulars where I'm going to go through what the sanctions are, what the effects are and are right now, like what they've been since 2017 into 2018, all the way up until the present, what the ramifications are. I actually did legal research. So I researched legal history of American statutes in relation to the sanctions. I believe that the video that you will be getting will be the best in the country on this channel, on those sanctions. So if you want to know that, it is a sad story. I will be in a somber mood. There will be no humor presenting that. All right. Good day and good luck. Much love to you all.